Hello everybody. Right, welcome back to another live class with YogaCandi. Today is obviously another one during lunch break, so I'm not going to talk too much before we begin. Can you first of all give me a thumbs up or leave me a little comment or something to let me know that you can hear me? I've just tested the mic, so it should be fine. So today's only going to be about 20 minutes, but it's going to be quite an intense 20 minutes. We're going to focus on strengthening our legs and our tummies and basically just an overall body strengthener. So it's everywhere. So do what you can, and if you're quite painful in your wrists or anything like that today, then just do what you can and take it easy, take a rest whenever you need to. There's no pressure ever with yoga, so just listen to your body and make sure that you're doing what feels right for you. So before we begin, I just want you guys to know that you can check out YogaCandi.com, and on there I'm always, I've got a few things that I offer, which is through my Instagram and my Facebook, and you can also get involved in some personal training if this is something you'd like to do with Skype yoga, so that's a nice one. Oh, 360 Honeymoon says sound is okay. Great, that's really good, I'm glad. So yeah, check out YogaCandi.com and you can find me on a few different platforms from there, and you can join in on some private yoga lessons with me if that's something you want to do. So keep your eyes peeled as well for all my live classes. I hold one at least once a week, and I always post a new video once a week, which has been beautifully edited by my husband, so they're always quite nice. Right guys, this is a new house, so I'm really sorry we have no blinds or anything behind there, so I may be a little bit backlit, but as long as you can kind of see me, then we're okay. So I'm going to head over to the mat and let's get straight into it. So come to the front of your mat. If you don't have a mat, that's fine, just stand somewhere. Make sure you're not on a slippery surface today, because we're going to do a little bit of jumping back and things like that. So come to the mat. Close your eyes, stand up nice and tall, and already engage your belly. Suck it in. Take a couple of deep breaths here before we begin. Now inhale, take your hands up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Now in this first forward fold, let's walk out our legs, because especially if you're been sitting in an office all day today, you're probably going to feel a little tight in your hamstrings and especially in your hip flexors. So take a moment here, and don't worry if you can't touch the ground like I am. If you're up here and this is as low as you can go, or even here, then just stay there and don't worry, but just feel through the hamstrings and do what you can. Do a couple more here, and remember to keep breathing in and out through the nostrils. Now from here, you can step back into plank, or you can jump back into chaturanga, but don't try to jump back into plank because that's bad for your joints. So make sure that if it's not possible for you to jump to chaturanga, which is our yogi push-up, then make sure that you just step back into plank and then join me in chaturanga when you're ready. So if you're feeling strong, inhale, look up, place your hands on the ground and step to plank or jump to chaturanga. Now make sure that your arms are close to your body, strengthen your legs, and inhale into your back bend. If you were in plank, then start to push down towards the ground and then come into your back bend. Now your back bend can be a baby cobra, full cobra, or it can be an upward facing dog like I'm doing. Make sure you open up through the shoulders, pushing the shoulder blades together wherever you are. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Now inhale, send your hips up towards the sky. And if you have the strength, don't untuck your toes, but only if you're strong enough for this. Otherwise, come into your normal downward facing dog. But when you're ready, untuck the toes, and let's all come into our downward facing dog. Make sure your hands are around shoulder distance apart, feet around hip distance. Your knees slightly turning inwards and your shoulder blades pushing apart as if you're trying to get your armpits to look at each other. Send your tailbone up towards the sky, sucking in the belly as well. All the things that make downward facing dog so wonderful. And don't worry if your heels are not touching the ground. If you find that your feet are up here, that's fine. With time, they may start to come down towards the ground. Or it could even just be the makeup of your body. Some people will never get their heels down to the ground, and that's fine. So just be where you are. Take a really deep inhale and exhale here. Inhale. And on your exhale, jump forward or step to the front of the mat, whichever feels more comfortable. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold forward, perhaps even pull yourself a little closer to your legs. And then inhale your hands up towards the sky, touch your palms and draw them to your heart center. So that's called a sun salutation, guys. That was sun salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. And it's a really good way to warm up the body. It's something you can do quite a few times before you begin to really start getting into things. But because of our lack of time today, we're just going to do one more. So, inhale your hands to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands on the ground. Now step back into plank or jump into chaturanga. Engage the core. Inhale, look up. Take your back bend. And exhale, send your hips up towards the sky. Don't untuck your toes if you have the strength. And then start to untuck them. Walk out your dog and then become still. Take a couple more breaths here. Take one more inhale, and then you're going to step to the front of the mat or jump, whichever feels better for you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, hold onto the thighs, maybe pull yourself a little closer if you can. Inhale, reach up, and hands to your heart center. Now we're going to get into a little bit of strength. So inhale your left leg up, send it behind you. As slowly as you can, start to roll forward and then straighten the left leg. Stay here at around a 90-degree angle to the ground. Make sure your hips are squared to the front of the mat and don't worry if you fall out of this. Now slowly let's drop that left leg behind us. Come into a 90-degree angle with the front leg. Inhale your hands to the sky and we're in high lunge now. So stay here, keeping that back heel off of the ground. If you want to go a little deeper, start to strengthen through the front leg and engage your calf and come up onto your tippy toes on the front leg as well as with the back leg. Stay here. Stay on your tippy toes. You've got this. Take 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Now drop the heel down, straighten through the front leg. Walk that back leg a little bit more forward and plant it on the ground so that the heel is no longer lifted. Now strengthen through the legs, make sure your hips are facing forward. Start to roll forward with the body. This is going to be a strengthening as well as a stretch through the back of that hamstring. on the right side. Keep your body around a 90-degree angle to the ground. Take your hands to your heart center. Send your hips up towards the sky. Remember to breathe. Try not to lock the front knee. Give it an ever so slight, tiny, minute bend. If you really need to bend, if you don't have the flexibility, then feel free to do so. You might start to feel this in your right buttock a little bit. Now, slightly bend through that front knee and hop up back into our balance on the right side. Send the legs straight behind you. Try to be at a 90-degree angle. Now place your hands on the floor and bring your feet together. Let's walk through the legs for a second. You may find that standing leg will feel a little bit sore after that. Now drop forward, inhale, come up, reach your palms together and draw them to your heart center. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So inhale your right leg up towards the body. As you exhale, really, really slowly send it behind you. Don't worry if you fall out of it. Stay at around a 90-degree angle to the ground. Engage that glute on the right side, lifting the legs slightly higher. Point, oops, I'm falling out of it now. Point or flex the toes on the right side. Stay here for one more breath. Now slowly step back. Now we're back in our high lunge. Bend through the left leg, make sure it's around a 90-degree angle. Really engage the back leg, lifting the heel off the ground. Inhale your hand to the sky. Now if you want to go deeper, lift up onto tippy toes on that front leg. Really engage the back leg so that's really strong as well. Take one more deep breath. Now straighten through the front leg. Take your hands to your side and just slightly bring that back leg a little bit closer to the front leg. And bring that back heel down towards the ground. Now we're going to slowly start to lean forward, stretching through this left hamstring. But make sure that your hips are squared off to the front of the mat once again. Start to bend forward. Keep your back as straight as possible. Take your hands to your heart center. Be around a 90-degree angle from the ground. This is really good for strengthening your back as well. Suck in your belly. Take 3 deep breaths here. Start to bend through that front leg. And then we're going to hop, come a little bit forward, and we're going to do our balance once again. 90-degree angle from the ground. Hands to heart center. Now slowly take your hands down to the floor and let's bring our feet to meet each other once again. Let's walk out our hips. Now, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank or jump to chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. And exhale into your downward facing dog. You don't have to untuck the toes straight away. You can keep on your feet, on your toes, and then untuck them when you're ready. But be where you are, do what feels right for your body. Become still and take 2 deep breaths here. Take one more inhale. Now we're going to jump our feet to the outside of our hands, or you can step your feet to the outside of your hands. So, inhale. And as you exhale, jump forward. Bring your hands either side of your feet either side of your hands. And we're going to come down into our yogi squat. So I'm going to face you so that you can see what I'm doing. So feet should be around hip distance apart. This is a really great way to open up through the hip flexors, especially if you've been sitting all day. Use your elbows to push your knees apart. Allow your hips to sink as low down towards the ground as possible. If this isn't possible, don't worry. If your hips are up here and that's about as low as you can go, that's absolutely fine. Close your eyes and take some deep breaths here. Now we're going to take a bind. Only do it if you can. Keep your legs apart. Almost use your glutes to push your knees apart. Take your right hand on the outside of the knee. Take your left hand up towards the sky. Look up towards the sky. And if you can, bring your right arm behind your leg and see if you can interlace your fingers. Looking up, taking a bind behind that right leg. If this is not possible at all for you, then just stay in the yogi squat or just take a little rest. Now come back to center. We're going to do the same on the other side. So take your left arm on the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, take your right arm up. Look up and now maybe try and take your bind if you can. Keep your knees apart. Take one more deep breath. Come back to center. From here, you'll be glad to know that we're going to come down to our bums. So come down to the floor and we're going to do boat pose, which I know is quite tough for some people. So start to lean back. This is going to be a little bit of core strength here. Come onto your tippy toes, lift your legs up if you can. Don't use your hands to hold behind your knees. If you need to hold behind your knees, then do so. And if you want to go even further, start to strengthen and straighten the legs. Make sure you try to keep your back as straight as possible. Now inhale, draw your knees towards your tummy, come towards the knees, and as you exhale, straighten the legs and lay back ever so slightly. Inhale, draw the knees in. Exhale, lay back. Straighten the legs. Inhale, knees in. Exhale, straighten the legs, lean back. Inhale, come back in and give your knees a squeeze in towards the body. We're going to come back into boat pose. Legs bent or straight. And we're going to take plow from here. So stay here, hold it. And now slowly roll back. If you have the flexibility, take your legs up and over your head. Draw your shoulder blades together underneath your back. Push up through the tailbone, push the tailbone towards the sky. If this is too much for you, then just take a child's pose or even take something like a bridge. Feel free to modify it for yourself. Now slowly start to roll forward, and we're going to try and roll forward into our boat pose. So roll, 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 and then come up, see if you've got the balance. Come back into boat. We're going to do this 2 more times before we cool off and finish the session today. So slowly roll back, come into your plow, or you can stay in boat if you want to. If plow is just not accessible, that's absolutely fine. You can even take your arms behind you and hold onto your feet. Now start to roll again. Roll through the spine slowly, slowly. And come up, back into your boat. Point the toes, strengthen the back and the legs, sucking in the belly. And let's go one more time. Roll back into your plow. Take your hands behind you, grab your feet if that's possible. Now let's roll down slowly. And come back into your boat. You've got this. Now maybe open the legs and then bring them together. Open the legs and bring them together. Now draw them in towards the body. Give them a little squeeze. Can you believe our 20 minutes is almost done? In fact, I think it is done. So we're going to start to cool down now. So we need to take a back bend now just to counteract all the plows that we've just done. So take your legs out in front of you. Place your elbows on the ground with your hands close to your bum. Elbows around shoulder distance apart. Inhale, arch your back. Send your chest up towards the sky. Allow your head to roll back, arching through the back. Point your toes. And slowly start to come out of it. Lift your head at the last point. And then roll down onto your back. I'm just going to move my mic out of the way because it's kind of on the side of my body here. Now let's take a twist over to the left. So allow your legs to fall over to the left. If you want this twist to be even more intense, bring your right leg on top of your left and maybe even wrap them twice. And allow your legs to fall over to the left. Look over to the right, open your arms out into a T. Take 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, come to center. Lift your legs up. And if you want to do the same, cross your left leg over the right. Send your hips slightly over to the left side of the mat. And then allow your feet to fall over to the right side. Make sure that your head is facing the opposite direction to your legs, so your face should be facing towards the left this time. Take one more deep breath. Inhale, come back to center. And let's unwrap our legs. Let's take a happy baby and open your knees out towards the sides with your arms on the inside of your knees. Pull onto the underneath of your feet and just pull your knees close towards your body. This is also a great hip opener. Make sure that you're sending your tailbone down towards the ground. Don't allow it to lift up towards the sky. And don't worry if you can't grab onto your feet, if you think this isn't really possible for me, then maybe just hold on to your shins or wherever you can reach. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Maybe pull them a little deeper down towards your armpits. And then let's release our feet, send our legs out in front of us. If you need to continue with the day, then maybe just take a couple of deep breaths here. Make sure everything's really relaxed. Relax every inch of the body, including that space between your eyebrows. We're just going to take a few breaths here. If you're in no hurry, then perhaps even take 5 minutes in Shavasana. Take one more deep breath. Now allow your breath just to go back to its natural rhythm. Now slowly come over onto your side. And let's push ourselves up into a seat. I'm going to grab my mic once again. Wasn't that lovely, guys? I'm going to come forward so that I can see you and you can see me. Well, I can't really physically see you, but maybe your comments. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got to get back to your lunch break or your work or whatever you've got to do, then I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Try to go through the day with some mindfulness today. Don't allow your thoughts to take over. Anytime negative thoughts come into your mind or anything like that, just allow them to pass. Don't pay them any attention. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you're quite enjoying doing a bit of yoga during your lunch break, your lunch hour, then perhaps leave me a comment at the end of the video and let me know how you got on and if there's anything I can do for you next time. If there's anything you'd like me to focus on, let me know as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Remember to look me up on all the different social media platforms. Remember to subscribe to YogaCandi, to this YouTube channel. There'll be new videos every week as well as a live video every week. So I would hate for you to miss out on that. So give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and until next time, namaste. Enjoy your day, guys.